আপনারা দেখছেন SR24x7 নিউজ।
Many of our member companies, you would find them working in the whole country. So they will have customers right from Jammu and Kashmir to Kerala, right from Northeast to Rajasthan. And some of our companies, and Yadavji's company is one such example, and Pramod's also. Many of them have used Kolkata as their headquarters as well, and they work out of West Bengal and out of Kolkata as well. So this is what Indian Staffing Federation does. During COVID, सबके जहन में ये एक सवाल था regarding their own jobs, their own employment. We also slowed down from an industry which was growing between 12 to 16% year on year. We declined to as low as 3.6%. However, after that, we have last year clocked a massive growth of 21.9% year on year. And currently, we are underrating at a growth of nearly 16%. Mind you, at this growth rate, it's almost like adding 2 lakh new workers. And when I use the word 2 lakh new workers, I'm talking about net addition, because in our industry there's attrition and then we backfill. So we are talking about growth as in total people who have been added minus the people who have left the workforce. We talk about only the net addition. And that net addition that we are recruitment for Indian Staffing Federation are multiple channels, and promote, please do come in. So yeah. So if you look at the multiple channels, one obviously is the standard channel which is available to everybody, which is called the database. Today, databases of two types. There's the large database, there are big companies, a lot of new platforms which have started creating database for specific cohorts or skill sets. So that is one. Second is we get a lot of references. Like I mentioned, we are 1.4 million worker army already. We get references from these 1.4 million for their friends, their families, and every staffing company creates that what is called the internal database through that reference. And we explain a little more about this.
If you do apart from that, I think we also have a large ecosystem of skilling which is happening in the country. I think skilling continues to give almost about a million or a million, maybe more, about close to maybe 2 million people across all government schemes. I think that also is an enabler for us to get talent. I think that's something that all of our staffing federation companies pick up that. And the skilling framework that we have is across multiple industries, which is helpful for us to go and talk to our customers in the retail, e-commerce, or whichever industries we represent. I think that happens to be another source.
Can I add something, new thing? See, beside what Rohit and Pramod says, that see, traditionally the recruitment means we were using either a job portal or employment exchange database, or the referrals. But I think what one unique thing which our industry does is also the recruitment on the field. On the field, when we talk about our recruiter goes into the club, it goes to various panchayat area, it goes to the village also, nearby cities, if the Mafsal area is there, contact the local people, the club and the local MLA, and get the people from there. There are also examples in a truck and truck people comes and bring here, do the interview, and take them into the factory. So this is a unique thing which our association does.
And what are the districts that people working in West Bengal? Like you have similar procedure functioning in West Bengal?
See, madam, what happens, it all depends upon the type of requirement. For example, let's say that if there is a company and there is a factory and you require welders in the factory, you require, let's say, 100 welders in the factory. So you need to understand that where is the welder institute is there, welding institute is there. Suppose the welding institute is in Behram. So our field staff will connect with the Behrampur and bring the people here for the job here. It also happens sometime that we organize them to get house here, get settled here. If some skilling is required, then get upskill them and get the job. So these are the very new initiative which our association.
And regarding
That you can think of. Today, you'd be amazed to know some of our member companies would be providing staff to even the likes of an ISRO for a project Gaganyaan for 2025 and 26. So that level of managed services and outsourcing has also started to happen, where in the most sensitive projects also, the customer understands that sometimes an outsourced staff is very integral and very key. So couple of points I'd like to explain here. One, if we take the so-called downsizing itself, I think what has happened after 2020, so in 2020, the minute that COVID came worldwide and lockdown started happening, literally survival. So the first 6 months was किसी तरीके से survive करना है. Everybody cut cost, everybody cut employment, everybody cut any sort of travel, any sort of expenditure or whatever. That's how the first 6 months was. After that, people realized that it's not a survival issue. Actually, corporates and fitter corporates will stay. Somewhere, IT took a huge leap, massively. It became almost transformational, because earlier we only spoke about work from home. Now work from home became a reality for everyone. So companies had to spend more in information technology than they have ever done in the last couple of decades. थोड़ा बहुत FOMO भी हो गया, fear of missing out. Every large corporate started thinking, oh, if the other guy is going and hiring 1,000 people and I'm not hiring, I may miss the bus. I may not get the best talent in future. My customers will ramp up as COVID will end. I will need thousands of people.
Now
Let me
it
hire.
is sort of right.
Bring in one point, Mini. If you have skills which are niche, you will always be in demand.
Yeah.
And no matter where you are, you can command that premium. But just because your neighbor or your friend has a niche skill and has got a 50% to 100% hike, please don't let go of your good employer and resign tomorrow morning just for another hike like that. Please ask yourself this question: do you have a niche skill for which somebody should justify to pay you that kind of increase or not? So this little bit of a re-equilibrium will happen. We are seeing early signs of it. I think few more months of right sizing, re-equilibrium balancing, and we should kind of get there as business as usual.
So that will already be 10%, you don't hear any numbers coming out, because I know for the fact that many of our, these arrows, of course, in IT companies are actually making this right now. They're ready with the list. What can they let go? Kind of thing they are making now. So that is a fact, okay? The numbers have not come out and they're just holding different sitting and watching the market right now.
Holding too much of net addition. 10%, meaning, by the way, on an industry which is 5 million workers. IT workers in India are almost 5 million. Out of 5 million, 10% itself is a big number. If it stops at 10%, we'll all be very, very happy. But I don't think so it should go beyond that, because let's not forget the fact, in the IT industry, we still have a 20-24% attrition every year. So almost 1/4 of the IT workers every year leave, and they go and find jobs elsewhere, or they move out and start their own, work.
Yeah. Can I add to this, Mini? See, yesterday only the employment data came in USA, and the unemployment data was 1.94 lakhs compared to 2.1 lakhs last year. These are the data, the people who claims for not being on the job, money from the government. So this clearly shows that in spite of the recession, so it's what is called in USA recession, the unemployment is coming down month after month. So that means there are pockets of the company which really overstaffed. They are releasing the people, or people are losing the job. It is not that all the companies are involved. So I think that is what is happening in India. The company is really over-recruited, overstaffed. They are releasing such a number of people. So I think it will take temper around in after a couple of months. Looks like.
But in the US, Indians are losing the job, and they're coming back to India and hiring less more expensive there in the job market right now. They are not laying off locals there.
Release the balance, you absorb those one or two. But we don't actively keep bench in anticipation of a job coming. Rather, what we do is, we see when the end dates of a contract are happening, and we try to replace those people in other industries or other corporates before the end date comes. Because if the end date comes and we don't replace them, then our business reduces.
Sir, one thing, as you give employment to the blue collars people also.
Ji.
So you have told that truckloads of people are coming.
Ji.
That's also issue. That's why different companies used to exploit them. We can see some jobs are being offered at 5,000, 6,000 per month salary.
जी जी जी.
So, as an apex body of staffing federation, do you have any this kind of policy to your clients that you have to pay this minimum wage for these jobs? Otherwise, we cannot give you the.
Like I mentioned, Indian Staffing Federation only stands for formal jobs in the code of conduct when they become our member. And we very clearly, as Indian Staffing Federation and its members, have to stand by every law. And law starts from minimum wage, Payment of Wages Act, Gratuity Act, Maternity Act, PF Act, ESIC Act, Labour Welfare Fund, to the letter and spirit. If anybody presumes that they can come to Indian Staffing Federation and ask for labor for exploitation purposes, neither Indian Staffing Federation can allow that, nor our member companies will allow it. Because for the kind of members that we have, for them sustainability of their business model for the long term is very important. They are not there to take that one contract and exploit somebody, but they are in this business for the long term. Some of our members have been in business for 30 years, some of our members 20 years, 15 years. Some of our companies, like I said, are listed companies in India. Some of our members are listed outside of India and they have presence in India. So that requires governance standards. That requires, that proper big fours and other auditing firms are auditing us. So with Indian Staffing Federation and our members, we don't have that problem. Personally speaking, I can tell you in last 15 years, I have seen those conversations reduce like anything. 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I would still, once in a blue moon, get a meeting where somebody would say, can you do this? Can you manage like this? Can you do this? Today, even the employer on the other side, decent employers who want to give decent work, do not indulge in exploitation. Rather, they will ask you a return question. आप वर्कर्स को हैप्पी कितना रख सकते हो? आप टाइमली सैलरी जिस दिन मैं परमानेंट एम्प्लॉय को दे रहा हूँ सेम डे दे सकते हो? जितना मैं इंश्योरेंस दे रहा हूँ सेम जीपीए, जीटीएलआई, जीएमसी दे सकते हो? During COVID, our clients actually opened their coffers and said, हम अपने employees के लिए ये कर रहे हैं. God forbid there's a death in any family, हम 10 lakh rupees का ex gratia दे रहे हैं. Please do the same for your people also who are employed with us. उस टाइप का लोगों ने एहसास रखा है, because today an employer understands वो 2-4 हज़ार रुपए बचाने में जीत नहीं है. जीत है to get quality productivity, become internationally competitive and reduce your attrition. अगर आप वो 2-4 हज़ार रुपए बचाओगे, आप छोटे ही रहोगे, छोटी सोच रहेगी. You cannot create a international brand. You cannot compete in the global markets, and then definitely you cannot expect an Apple to come and give you orders, right? If you want to build those kind of factories and you want to have that kind of ecosystem, you need to look after your workers, because customers will come and check.
ठीक बात है. हाँ. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming.